Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Raging Fury 505 and today we'll be going over what makes a Halo Infection record legit. Just so you guys know before the video, if you want to submit clips for community montages, want to get a montage made, or want to have a video featured in the channel, there is information about that in the description. Now back to the video. I do acknowledge that Precursor did make a video on this called the boosting rant. I'll leave a link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. This is basically going to be an updated version of that video, with Precursor approving of the rules I stated in this video. Anyway, let's hop right into it, starting with fire teams.
Teammate joined. Guardian Angel.
Now, this has been a topic that has been argued about for ages. There are more extreme conservatives that believe that only a fire team of one should be allowed. On the other hand, there are individuals who argue that as long as the fire teams are not boosting kills, this is a topic we'll discuss further later on in the video, having a fire team of 6 is alright even if they are teaming. Right off the bat, I will have to condemn teams of 3 and above. Honestly, teams of 3 and above have the ability to significantly manipulate the game to their advantage. So I have to say that teams of 3 and above are ineligible for submitting a record gameplay. I think, however, having a team of 2 is fine. A team of 2 cannot significantly manipulate an infection game to their advantage, but is still able to remove a lot of RNG that occurs in a solo gameplay. Also, I think that solo gameplay should have their own separate category for records. Solo gameplays are significantly more difficult than fireteam records for a variety of reasons, which include lack of callouts and no zombie helpers to help them clear out campers and other survivors. In my opinion, getting a record of 100 kills on regular Riptide solo is more difficult than achieving 120 kills on Riptide with a teammate. You need a bit more skill for solo gameplays, but a lot of luck is needed for it as well. Going back to playing with bigger fire teams, I think that's fine if you're playing with bigger fire teams for fun. For example, if I'm playing with Shizno and Connor wants to join, I'll invite him. I simply would not legitimize any gameplay I would get with a pair. Additionally, if I'm playing in a fire team of 4 and above, we would simply not team. Honestly, in my opinion, this is way more fun and lets other players in the game not get punished for playing in smaller fire teams or playing solo. Let's say, however, you play in a fire team of 2 and you match another fire team of 2 who are your friends. Would this gameplay be legit? It would not, because by matching 2 other players that will team with you, you now have a team of 4. Therefore, you're able to manipulate the game significantly to your advantage. Now that we've set the standards for fire teams, let's talk about boosting.
Killionaire. 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 Killionaire.
Boosting has decreased significantly, especially in the last 2 years when radicals such as myself and Spooky Dude BW have condemned boosting heavily in the community. However, I will need to define and explain boosting for individuals who do not understand the concept. There are 2 types of boosting. The main type of boosting is where players have other individuals in their fire team feed them kills. This is an extreme red flag for a gameplay that is attempting to be a record and will be immediately thrown out. However, people do accidentally kill their teammates. It happens. There are games where I accidentally kill Shizno 5 times, or times where Shizno kills me 3 times in a row when I'm human. Simply subtract the kills that are accidentally boosted. Just so you know, it's easy to see the difference between accidental boosted kills and purposely boosted kills. So don't try to say you accidentally boosted a kill to keep your multi-kill streak going. Usually what I do when this happens is try to restart my multi-kill streak. Now let's say a player you do not know is attempting to boost you. What should you do? Simply try not to kill him unless he literally gets right in front of your nose. This will require slaying a zombie. As soon as possible after this kill, message the player and kindly ask him not to boost you any additional kills. If he wants a team, tell him to stand away from you and crouch down so he isn't accidentally killed. Finally, I do know instances of players getting pissed off and trying to ruin the gameplay of another player by boosting him in the last 1 or 2 rounds. Honestly, this is extremely disrespectful, and in order to get around this, simply slay the child if he gets within medium range. You'll be forced to kill him because if you allow him to get close to you, he'll most likely kill you if he gets a chance. Just deduct kills if he boosted you after the game. This does not occur too often, so hopefully it will not be an issue for you guys for the most part. However, I have experienced it a handful of times, so I want you guys to be prepared on what to do if that happens to you at some point. Next, there is a second type of boosting which only applies to Halo Reach infection. This is where zombie players will take out their teammates' last man standing shields off on purpose so they can blow up the canisters and reset their ammo. I think this is not legit and should make any gameplay illegitimate. Now that we have covered boosting, let's discuss sacking and deaths of fire team members.
Suicide.
In this section, we will discuss the line between the legal death of a fireteam member and illegal sacking. If you don't know what sacking means, it is when a player lets himself die on purpose at the beginning of a game or suicides to immediately help his teammate by converting survivors into zombies. This is a topic that isn't really talked about in the community because many members of the community actually break this rule often. They break it because it's a rule which is easy to break without their gameplay seeming illegitimate. Even my fire team in the past long ago has done this, but now I'm condemning it. Having your teammate die in the first 5 seconds of a match, whether that be jumping off the map or simply running to the zombie spawn on purpose to kill yourself, gives you an unfair advantage and should make a record not legit. However, I will add some points that will make sacking more balanced. For a regular Halo 5 infection, their teammate is not allowed to die until the 2-minute mark in a round with a margin of error of 10 seconds. Cumulatively, your teammate must have a survival time of 4 minutes with a margin of error of 40 seconds. For Halo 5 Alpha Zombies, their teammate is not allowed to die until the 2-minute and 20-minute mark in a round with a margin of error of 7 seconds. Cumulatively, your teammate must have a survival time of 2 minutes with a margin of error of 21 seconds. For Halo Reach Infection, your teammate is not allowed to die until the 2-minute and 40-minute mark in a round with a margin of error of 13 seconds. Cumulatively, your teammate must have a survival time of 4 minutes and a margin of error of 39 seconds. What does this mean? Let's break it down. For example, let's say your friend is a human all 4 rounds. Your teammate is not allowed to die until the 2-minute mark to help out with callouts and converting humans into zombies. However, I did install a margin of error, so if your teammate dies, for example, at 2 minutes and 2 seconds instead of 1 minute and 59 seconds, it will still be a legit gameplay. Additionally, we'll install this rule cumulatively. This means if your teammate dies in round 1 with 1 minute remaining, he is allowed to die earlier in other rounds. His overall survival time just needs to add up to 4 minutes. Now, if a game just has overall quick infections because of fairly good zombies, individual gameplays can be submitted for review. Now, you might be saying, can a human teammate simply suicide at the 2-minute mark, or must he be killed by a zombie? Honestly, I do not mind suiciding as much because it actually gives the player going for a record a disadvantage because he can't steal the guy's ammo the majority of the time. However, I will not recommend this tactic because much of the community will see this as an illegitimate gameplay. Just let your teammate be slain by a zombie or let your teammate die naturally. Social Darwinism for the win, baby. By the way, I just want to add that the time figures I mentioned earlier in this section must be adjusted for how many times your teammate is a human. For example, if your teammate is a zombie in 2 of the 3 rounds of a Halo Reach game, the cumulative time will be 1 minute and 20 seconds. The time figures I provided is for when your teammate is human the maximum amount of rounds. Make necessary adjustments if needed. Now, let's say for some reason some players you don't know seems to be sacking on purpose to start infecting people. I will, unfortunately, have to say that this gameplay will not be legit, especially if he does this every round. Message the player as soon as possible and ask him to kindly not do that in the future. Now that we have covered sacking and death of fireteam members, let's go over miscellaneous topics.
Armageddon. Against all odds.
Now, before the end of the video, we must go over miscellaneous topics real quick. For example, glitch spots. Glitch spots are not allowed in gameplays and will be seen as illegitimate gameplays. Camping is not recommended, but will be seen as a legit gameplay if you achieve a gameplay by camping. Okay, let's finish the video with the conclusion.
Kill atrocity. Hell.
In conclusion, I really hope this video has cleared up on what makes a gameplay legitimate. If you guys have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. Also, if you have any other video ideas for me, leave them in the comments. I enjoy creating these scripted videos and I'm happy to make more in the future. Anyway, until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.
Solid shotgun kill.
30 seconds. Kill catastrophe. Kill apocalypse. Kill